Well, here we are, Friday, November 4th, 2022. I'm Larissa. Hold on, I'm trying to close my door. Got my stick here by the bed. It's a handy thing. Use it to close the door. And when I'm having trouble getting up, I can use it to help me get up. Wow. Basketball's kind of crazy, huh? The calls are bad and nobody's allowed to say anything about it. I was wondering, how did Adam Silver get his job? Like, how do you become commissioner? Like, did he play basketball? He's not a basketball player. He's just some rich dude. Like, what is his background? What makes him qualified for his job? I'm just curious. Ugh. I'm just curious. And I was watching some clips about Kyrie there in Brooklyn. First of all, I have all kinds of thoughts on this because so it's over some comment on Twitter, some share on Twitter. Twitter's been like, I'm glad Elon Musk is pulling that platform apart. It has been nothing but a propaganda platform for idiots like AOC and others. And I was abused on that platform, right? Totally was abused on that platform. I wouldn't want to play for Brooklyn. Um, I'm not anti-Jewish either. Like, I don't think Jewish people should be rounded up and killed any more than I think any other group of people should be rounded up and killed. I have um, encountered discrimination by Jewish people many times in my life. And so I'm just like kind of curious. Like, I don't know, part of me wants to go seek out this documentary and see what the hell everybody's talking about. Um, I went to see Holocaust survivor Ava Schloss speak. And when I got there, um, I volunteered. She was selling a book, of course. And I volunteered. And she was billed as Anne Frank's school friend. Well, she went to school with the girl, but she said that they weren't really friends. Like, um, anyway, I did money changing for them. I took money for the books, right? Like, I didn't steal money for the books, but like I worked at the table for them. I sold her books. And they showed a heavy propaganda film at the beginning that was very exclusionary of all other groups that were targeted during the Holocaust. And this is my biggest criticism, is that Jews weren't the only ones who were rounded up and slaughtered. They weren't the only ones targeted, right? But culturally, there is an ownership that, oh, you can't say anything to critique Jewish culture or Jewish persons because anything you say is anti-Semitic and, oh, the Holocaust. Well, it wasn't just the Jews, right? And like, even with Holocaust Remembrance Day, Jewish leaders with the United Nations, they exclude Romani groups, and it's there it's at it's done in such a way that, like, even within Romani culture, like, it's kind of a joke. Like, if you speak up too much about, you know, being your experience being oppressed because of your heritage, they say, oh, what are you, a Jew now? And because it's one of the big differences between Romani and Jewish culture, the way that this type of thing is dealt with within cultural circles. So to dwell on it and to talk about the injustice is to um, hold on to it, and to it's polluting, right? It's considered a polluting act. It's a taboo. And so whereas Jews are quick culturally to be, up in arms about anything, and it's a double-edged sword, because it has served the Romani community in such a way that there is little knowledge or understanding of Romani experience. And so, and it's very upsetting. It's very upsetting, and it causes a lot of hurt across the board. And, over the years, friends of mine Jewish friends, people I've been friends with who have been Jews, have said extremely offensive things to me without batting an eye. And when I have pointed them out, have used just, oh, well, I'm Jewish, so, oh, so you're allowed to say and do those things to me. I had a Jewish gallery owner tell me she didn't want to carry my work anymore after 9/11, right? And we had a contract. These are the kinds of things. These things happen. They happen. And I had another. I had a close friend who was Jewish, who actually lived with me for a while. Had rented a room in my home. Mm. And he explained to me, like, I didn't understand where all this came from, but he explained to me that, it is part of Jewish belief that Jews are supposed to teach people how to live. And so it is he described it as, part of God's covenant with the Jews, and that's what makes them chosen. And it's part of what makes it very, very hard, you know, to be in relationship if you're not Jewish, right? Um, if that belief is held onto and expressed and professed. And, you know, I am all for freedom of religion, and that also means freedom from religion. Um, that also means freedom to have criticism of. And I have criticism of Christianity too, right? I certainly, most certainly, most certainly, most certainly do. Um, but the attitude of being chosen over all others by God is something that frequently causes friction. And I am all for allowing somebody to believe that about themselves. But when it comes to, secular life, and where intersection of day-to-day living, or even intertwining histories, like, you have to be able to talk about history. And I also think it's problematic anytime anybody references Adolf Hitler and what the Nazis did, like, sometimes even discussing the fact that they existed, or having knowledge of what it was that they professed or believed in, is perceived or labeled as being anti-Semitic, as opposed to just being simple knowledge. Because you understand something or know something doesn't mean you agree with it. And, I don't know. I don't know. I am not for oppressing Jewish people any more than I'm for oppressing anybody else. I do find it personally very, very offensive that there is a there is a privilege afforded to Jewish culture in that there's no room for criticism of any kind. That's problematic. That's problematic. And I personally, I personally believe it was a poor choice to create the boundaries of the country of Israel after World War II. Do I think the Holocaust was right? No. Do I think Adolf Hitler was right? Absolutely not. And there were other groups that were oppressed. There were other groups that were targeted, right? There's no country for the Roma, right? And besides that, I just don't believe in theocracy. I don't believe in theocracy. I don't believe in theocracy. I don't believe in it. I believe in the separation of church and state, of synagogue and state. Oh. I'm sorry if people are offended by that. I'm not sorry that I feel that way, but I'm sorry if you're offended by that. As an American, I think you should have to choose a citizenship, right? I don't believe anybody should be killed for their belief. I'm anti-death penalty. And I'm a Christian. So, I don't know. New York Nets suspending Kyrie for posting something about a documentary. Whatever. I wouldn't want to play for Brooklyn. I wouldn't want to represent Brooklyn. I don't like I think the politics coming out of New York are a lot of garbage. I really do. But, I don't live there either. I'm in California. I think a lot of the politics coming out of California are garbage too. I speak up about it. I think what Kyrie said, that he accepts responsibility. Like, what does Adam Silver want? Another Jewish friend coming to me to ask me how to keep gypsies from robbing her. I'm like, excuse me? And then after I explained to her that I did not like to be called that word, continuing to address me as such in my presence to other people. Oh, Larissa's a gypsy. I've explained this to you. It's part of my heritage, and I don't like that word. And I particularly don't like being addressed as that word. She continued to do it, right? Extremely offensive. Extremely offensive. Extremely offensive. Never got an apology for that. Never. Right? Why do I care? What the fuck should I care? What the fuck should I care about any of it? those are just a couple things There's the story, of course, of my great grandma that my grandma Rose told me. Oh, I shouldn't talk about it. Deskoviches might get angry. That's not how it says. That's not how it is. How do you know? Challenge me. She didn't tell you that. All right, whatever. Maybe all the people related to my ancestors, maybe they're all laying dead in graves in Ukraine right now anyway, so who the fuck cares? Oh. I really need a good chiropractor. I do. I need one who's not going to stick his thumb in my ass crack, try to stick his thumb in my butthole. One who isn't going to call me dear and say, oh, I want to take care of you. Fuck you, Scott Sawyer. I hope you go out of business. Filthy, filthy jerk. Oh my God. I mean, I'm not going to get any kind of surgery because I don't trust the medical system over here, not after the way I've been treated in hospitals, right? Right? Gee, Dominican, haven't got any more bills from you. I wonder why. Unable to produce those X-rays that you supposedly took? Unable to produce them? Because I told them. I told them at the insurance, I said, if they are able to produce those, I would like to pay out of pocket to a third-party radiologist to have new X-rays taken so that they can be compared to see if they are actually my X-rays, because they didn't take X-rays of me. Dominican Hospital. Fuck you, Dominican Hospital. Fuck you and every bitch that works there. Oh, that basketball game last night was a heartbreaker. It really was. It was a heartbreaker. Clay, you played great. You did. But I might be a little biased. I think you play great every night, even when you think you don't play great. So, what are we got going on today? I got 2 jackets underway, and I have an appointment for something. And there's another basketball game, huh? There's another basketball game. Anyway, I need to get up and get showered and dressed and make some breakfast. If you're watching this, have you been following the book I'm reading right now? The book I'm reading out loud, To a God Unknown. It's so good. It's my favorite book. It is my favorite book of all time. My favorite book of all time. Hopefully I can get through the next 2 chapters without crying. It is painfully, painfully beautiful.